Alright, so the main event, so Ciryl Gane versus Alexander Volkov. So Volkov, he has the 3-inch height advantage as he will over most heavyweights. Ciryl Gane, however, does have a 1-inch reach advantage. Break down the striking of these two, so both these guys, very good strikers. So Ciryl Gane, he's able to fight near the stance. Same with Volkov. They're both able to fight near the stance. Both have good distance management. I would say Gane is a little bit better at maintaining distance. He's got very good footwork, and I think he has much better movement than Alexander Volkov, and I also do think he has the speed advantage in this matchup too. For Ciryl Gane, he's got a very nice kicking game, very refined kicking game. Probably the best kicking game in the heavyweight division at the moment, for sure. He's got that Muay Thai background, kickboxing background. He's an 8-point striker. He'll use elbows, knees, shins, fists, what have you. He likes the body kick and southpaw, which I think is going to be open here against Alexander Volkov's very long torso. He also likes that step-in knee to the body if the opponent's covering up. For Volkov, I'd say most of his offense would be with his hands. He does like the kicks as well, the teeps to the body versus southpaws, the inside low kick versus southpaws, the lead leg offense in general. But mainly I think he's going to look to punish Gane with his hands. He has very nice straight punches, nice jab, nice counter too. He kind of looks to pull on your strikes or use upper body movement to pull back and then wait for, normally heavyweights that don't throw too many combinations. So he looks to pull back and then come back with a combination of his own, which is quite effective because, heavyweights generally don't throw too many combinations, 3-4 punch combinations. But these guys will mix up combinations and, extend their combinations. So that's quite unique in the heavyweight division. Alexander Volkov's got a nice uppercut when the opponent's dipping. So, Ciryl Gane, he uses head movement in the pocket to, get out and pretty much get back a distance and get back to kickboxing range. So, that uppercut, I could definitely see it catching Ciryl Gane when he is, rolling in the pocket. Because Ciryl Gane, he has good head movement in the pocket. But, good strikers will get the read of that and make you pay for it dearly. Alexander Volkov, he likes to push into the fence and just kind of tee off near there. It's a tendency I've seen in a lot of his fights. He'll get guys near the fence and just, kind of feint a little bit just to get them shelling up, and then he'll really, let his hands go. But Ciryl Gane, he's got good movement. He's going to be hard to pin against the fence. Ciryl Gane, he's got good hands as well. As I said before, he's got good head movement when he does get in boxing range. But, I feel like he's more comfortable at kickboxing range, of course, but I think that's where Volkov wants to get him. For Ciryl Gane, he has hands too, nice stiff jab, as we saw a lot in the Rosenstruck fight. Nice slip too. Generally, he's using his boxing for counters though, so he looks to counter and then get back a distance, so he can unleash his kicks. And Ciryl Gane, he is working on a more well-rounded game. Most heavyweights won't do this, so I do think it's a great thing that he is, working towards mixing in takedowns and mixing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu into his game, because most heavyweights, they're either strikers or they're grapplers. There's not too many that are all-rounders, and except, the few exceptions would be like Stipe, DC, and all that kind of stuff, but it's quite rare in the heavyweight division. He likes the reactive double under a right overhand, and Volkov, he doesn't throw too many things looping, but, if you time one of his straights, one of his straight rights, then, I feel like you get him down. We've seen Volkov's takedown defense. It isn't the best, and if you get Volkov down, his guard is purely defensive, and he will lock his guard for some reason. I'm not sure why he does it, but he does it, and we've seen it hurt him in the past. How these guys win fights. So for Alexander Volkov, he's got very powerful straight punches, and he's got a good chin as well. That Derek Lewis KO, there's no shame in that. That was a huge bomb from Derek Lewis, and Derek Lewis could put anyone's lights out, but I've seen this guy take some big shots, and he wears them pretty well. And for Ciryl Gane, he has good pacing, he has good cardio, he has very good striking defense, even in the pocket, as we discussed before, and he seems to have quite good fight IQ. It wasn't pretty, but that's how you have to fight Biggie Boy. That's how you beat Jairzinho Rozenstruik. How these guys lose fights. So for Alexander Volkov, he's got very bad takedown defense, really bad balance. Really bad balance on the single leg, and then once you get him down, he has a terrible get-up game. Past the victory for these two. So for Ciryl Gane, Look to be at kickboxing range. Don't get stuck in boxing range. Use your feints to stop the forward momentum of Alexander Volkov. Look for body kicks and body work in general. Like as I talked about before, look at that torso of Volkov. That's a target right there. Look for teeps to the lead leg, kick his lead leg, just to kind of halt the forward pressure just a little bit. For Alexander Volkov, on the feet, look to pressure him. I believe he is a little uncomfortable when he is forced to fight in boxing range. He might even look to tie up in boxing range, and then you can look for uppercuts there. If you make the read, if he's going to have his arms outstretched, then you can look for uppercuts there. I must say though, Ciryl Gane, his head movement is good in boxing range. He's hard to hit, and he's also hard to track down against the fence, so it's going to be tough, but you've got to walk him down, you've got to hit him when he does get close to the cage, and I think volume is key for Alexander Volkov. Look for the jabs, look to try and keep the volume up, keep the pressure up. Look to counter his jab with combinations. Just pump the jab out. Uppercut when he throws a straight punch to the body. He will go for one of those straight punches to the body. You can look for an uppercut there. Also, the uppercut will discourage him from shooting the takedowns. Look for low kicks. Try and slow the movement of Ciryl Gane. But also mix in takedowns. Like, Alexander Volkov, his pure wrestling game isn't the best, but if you catch one of those body kicks of Ciryl Gane and look to trip him, maybe get him down, maybe get some top control, maybe some ground and pound there. And for Ciryl Gane, look to mix in takedowns as well. But also, just, to win minutes, look to control him against the fence. Just push him against the fence. I have seen him quite easily controlled against the fence before, so yeah, look to mix that in maybe. Just something else to think about really for Volkov. How I see the fight going. So yeah, great fight. I wasn't too excited at first with this booking because I still had the Gane Biggie Boy fight stuck in my head, but when I finally got around to taping it, I've come to the realization that it's going to be a banger. Like, both generally like to keep the fight on the feet, and I believe it will largely stay on the feet. I'll get to that in a sec, but yeah, I think these guys are going to stand for the most part. It must be said, Gane does have the kickboxing background, but Volkov on the feet is a problem. He's a big problem with his height and his length and his durability. I see him walking Gane down in this fight, but I do think the footwork of Gane is going to be a big difference maker in this fight. Gane is super light on his feet. Dude moves like a featherweight. And Volkov, he's much more plodding. He looks to slowly stalk you down and then, land his shots from there. But I think he's going to have a hard time tracking down Ciryl Gane. If this was the bigger octagon, I would heavily favour Gane just because of the movement and just the biggest space to move for Ciryl Gane, and he wouldn't get trapped as much as he probably will in this fight. But yeah, no, even in the apex, I think Volkov's going to have a hard time trapping Gane against the fence, which is generally where he likes to tee off on his opponents and do a lot of damage, or even just fighting him in general. I think it's going to be quite a frustrating night for Volkov. I don't think he's going to get completely blown out, but I do think it's going to be quite a frustrating night. He's going to be missing a lot. He's going to be having trouble tracking down Gane. I think Gane's going to beat him to the punch quite a bit. I do think Ciryl does have a decent speed edge here. Volkov is the more aggressive fighter, and that's just judging from these guys' recent fights. But I'm kind of a little worried about that, kind of Volk just outpointing him with teeps combinations. But as a counter to that, Gane, he's never lost a round in his MMA career so far. Plus, he's undefeated in kickboxing, so it seems to me like the guy just kind of fights to the level of and the pace of his competition. So I feel like if Volkov's going to bring it to him, then Gane's going to reciprocate to a higher degree, maybe. Both these guys are very well-conditioned heavyweights too, so I don't expect either to be super fatigued at any point, unless one fighter comes in with like a heavy body attack game plan. But yeah. So yeah, as I was talking about before, if Ciryl wants to mix it up, I'm not sold on him being like a decent grappler or, a guy can just take anybody down, sub them or whatever. I think he won't have an easy time getting Volkov down, and I'm not very impressed with his wrestling too much. His takedowns seem quite sloppy to me, and the only people he's been able to take down is Biggie Boy, who has garbage takedown defense, and Dontel Mays, who has even garbager takedown defense. But that being said, it doesn't take much to get Volkov down, But all in all, I do think Gane just kind of outpoints him on the feet in a very technical, kickboxery way. and gets the decision nod here. So let's have a look at the betting lines. Alright, so the prediction is Gane by decision. So the bets I was looking at was Volkov at $2.40. You know, I think the line's a little bit too wide, in my opinion. It looks like it's mostly going to be a striking match, and Volkov shouldn't be this much of an underdog against anybody in the heavyweight division in a striking match, except maybe like Francis Ngannou. But you know, Volkov's a beast, man. Like, he's 7-2 in the UFC. His only losses are coming to Derek Lewis in a fight where he won all but like 10 seconds of, and then when he got wrestle fucked by Curtis Blades. And I don't think Gane's gonna do that to him. But yeah, you know, I think it's a little bit too wide. I do think Gane wins, and I would bet Gane if he got to $1.75 or -135. But you know, a lot of question marks with Gane. Just his pacing. I want to see if he can keep up with the pace of Volkov. Also, I want to see how he'll react if Volkov is kind of just outpointing him and kind of walking him down for the first few rounds. I want to see how he, you know, makes reads there and how he's going to react to that. So I do just want to watch this fight kind of and just see what I think of Gane. But yeah, the dude looks very promising, and he's certainly a big prospect in the heavyweight division. But Volkov, you know, you can't sleep on this guy. He's a beast. Bets props I was looking at, not really any. Maybe Gane by decision, but I think it's like plus 200 or $3. So yeah, not loving that. If it was like $3.50, then that would intrigue me, but not really $3. Not good enough for me. But yeah, should be a good fight.